Okay, here's another video from the Black Canyon. Sorry, the camera was tilted and it looks sort of funny. But here I'm fishing a relatively short line. The rod is a 390 centimeter rod, so 12 feet 9 inches. And the line itself is only 8 feet of the main line, and then with the tippet, it's only about 10 feet long at the longest. You can see that when I cast, I've got two flies on, and when I cast, I'm trying not to let them get tangled. So it's more of a lob cast. But anyway, it's the first fish of the day. Little rainbows, planters, but they're pretty enthusiastic and a lot of fun to catch. Here I am still working this same pool, and you can see again sort of a lob cast. I'm using 5X tippet, but the dropper that I've tied in there is actually 1X, and it's relatively short. It's only about 2 inches long. That also helps keep the dropper fly from getting tangled onto the main tippet. You can't, unfortunately, you can't see the line very well. You can see it a little bit right there through the background when the sun shines through it just right. But anyway, the wind was blowing from left to right in this image, and so I had to lean slightly to the left or into the wind to compensate for the drag of the wind. And here we go, another small rainbow. It was hard to see, but just before the trout came out of the water, you could see the line suddenly straighten, and that was the take. So here I'm once again working the side of the pool. There you can see the line against the rock. If this has a bicolor indicator, the lowest section is red amnesia and the upper section is Stren gold. That works really well. I've used it a couple times now, and it's works great in a lot of light, different light situations. Here I've turned around and working the other side of the pool and hold this rainbow up out of the depths. As you can tell by this water, there's a lot of weed in it, even though it's the end of November. It's because it's spring water, and the temperatures are fairly consistent throughout the year. You have to really watch where you're walking, or you're going to go plunging into some of these sucker holes through the weed. So here I've moved up to the next tier and fishing one of the pools. Each of these tiers have some plunge pools. This whole area is lava rock or basalt that's been scoured out. So they have some fairly deep holes, and I've moved up to the next tier and working down deep around this weed. It's somewhat challenging to fish, but can be quite rewarding. The fish aren't really big. There's quite a few plant or rainbows in there, but every once in a while you pick up a native Bonneville cutthroat, and that's what I'm usually really after. The flies I was using today was a number 14 beadhead Prince nymph. That's what this fish took, and that's the dropper fly, and then the end fly is, or the terminal fly, was a number 18 red copper john. They both work really well here. This is a native Bonneville cutthroat, and you can tell they don't fight quite as vigorously as rainbows, but still it's a native fish and really beautiful. Okay, this is on that same tier, but I've just turned around and fishing the other side. Now you can't tell, but up the river there are some two fly fishermen. They're on the left-hand side of the river, on the left bank, next to some trees. You can just barely see them there. Well, as I was catching all these fish, they weren't catching anything, but I could see them turning and looking at me, and I must admit that on this one I hooked this fish, and then you'll see me turn around and look at them to shamelessly check and make sure that they were actually watching me. So anyway, this is another cutthroat. Their fight is more of a roll. They just roll around and rather than going airborne. This short leader makes controlling these fish really easily, and you don't really have to hand line in very much. This was the biggest fish of the day. It was about 13 inches. He also took that beadhead Prince nymph. So here I am pathetically checking to see if those guys up there are watching me. That's pretty embarrassing. But anyway, then I bring up the fish and show them to you and then let them go. Anyway, that's it for today. I need to work on trying to get the line to show up a little bit better. But anyway, see ya.